Good morning, child of the universe. This is video 12 of 36. This is the last video talking about executive power. I started working on executive power last year, December approximately. I started off with a list. There's a preamble to the list. Let me read that too. Let's grab it. Okay, how are you doing? Go to University of the Art and Science of the Soul and subscribe to my channel. I'm gonna really, I feel like I'm really ready to make this breakthrough to start doing more videos. This is the completion of a series I have been working on since December of 2026 on executive power. So this is the final video. Every time I come on a video, I really need to talk about the entire set and how it works. I promise you that I am going to get my book on Amazon. I haven't done it yet. It consists of two books, 1 and 2, and 4 decks. It's a complete system. In order to be sovereign, so hard for me to talk about this because I keep going down these rabbit holes, and I want to kind of stick to the subject that we're talking about today. But in order to even start thinking about having executive power as the society, okay, right now we're in a verge of some very huge changes taking place. And the importance of being sovereign is going to become more and more and more important because we're going to be pulled in so many different directions if we don't maintain the sovereignty. So when I first started working on what is executive power, how does it operate, it was a series of 3 levels: beginning level, middle level, and now we're into establishing and wielding executive power. We need to understand that in order to even have executive power, we have to be working for something that's going to happen in the future. When I'm doing these videos, I'm talking about making myth through movement, playing in the myth. There's 9 levels. So I have sub-identities. I've uncovered, discovered, and promote them. They're individuals with their own life. What I've discovered through that? Well, the first thing I discovered is after it spontaneously happening to me, like all these sub-identities coming forward, that I knew I had to add it into the set, the book, and I had to spend at least 2 years back engineering what it was. So when I wrote this set, and it was writing levels 8, 9, and 10, basically is what it is, because let's see what happened. I didn't realize at the time what it was, and I still to this day, because of the process of making myth through movement, I try to balance between the art and the science. I'm living in the vision and the science. But in order to have executive power, we have to understand that we are the people that really want to become sovereign, like really want to embody this inner directive that allows them to have all body, mind, spirit, soul, universal body, mind, spirit, and directed towards this one purpose. It's something that we're looking for in the future. So I would say we're looking at the people that are doing it now. We're going to the years 2072 onward. So I'm right now in the year 2102 to 2106. And that correlates with the ages when I uncovered, discovered, and promoted Making Myth Through Movement. I knew already from the beginning it was going to be a book. I never knew it was going to be this extensive. But in order to have executive power, this is the one thing that is uncovered. So this is the most important directive point. We have to be able to go beyond this small identity consciousness. Who are we anyway? I mean, really, if you look at yourself, I am Dawn Michelle Cooper. I mean, if you really look at my life, it's pretty much just filled with tragedy and travesty and being completely alienated from anything in the society. I have people attacking like the one few good things about my life. They see, because they don't want to really want to come out and say, oh, we're damning you because your daughter died of cancer and your life is a failure because of that. They want to always come in sideways. So if you even offer to help these people, they're going to come back and attack you. So I'm coming from that perspective in this life. So I don't know about you. I mean, you know, maybe you're more in the early parts of your life thinking it's all going to work out for you. I don't know. I hope it does. I certainly think there are souls on the planet that have easier lives, but this is the life I was handed. When I started uncovering and discovering and promoting these inner identities, they came to me like people outside of myself. It was more, I didn't really know what it was to be honest. But it kept happening. And so what I've come to realize is that realizing that it actually is Jungian therapy, the entire teaching of Jung. See, Freud and Jung, these were the fathers of modern day psychology, but the psychology they give you today is all programming. It's not psychology at all. You shouldn't be creating these false sub-identities to where you're formulating all these reasons to hate everyone else. We have to realize that we are on a spiritual journey together. So these portals and pathways that we're opening that I talk about in my set, and these are like decks that go straight back to the teaching. Each card is an entire process of making my through movement. So even if you don't completely understand it, you can do it. The overseer for these readings, see, I have connected to you universally to do this reading, to show you. So I'm giving you the whole thing. This is all the work I have done to uncover this. We are working towards something in the future. So right now, like I said, I'm in the year 2102 to 2106. I originally went to 2072. Then I went to 2082. Then I went to 2092 to 96. Now I'm older because I'm looking. So basically, what I'm doing in essence is I'm looking at a future life that I've created for myself in this year, and I'm looking at it metaphorically, mythically. You could say I'm possibly viewing it, telepathically, and I'm seeing very clearly that all what we are doing now, we are creating then. See, when we become more ascended and we really start to realize, understand, and know these other parts of ourselves. So think of our incarnation with God, the spark, as this soul, this one part. And these other aspects, they all interplay. I was talking to somebody about this, and they have a problem with understanding reincarnation, because then how does that mean if you die that you've got this individuality? First of all, who are you really? What I discovered, and I'm promoting through these sub-identities that I've uncovered, the 8 essential sub-identities, their inner child archetypes, and their inner children. See, it's a whole system that each one, the more I've come to recognize them, and the weird thing about them is it is somewhat like having DID, the people that claim they're all disorientated. It's the opposite of having DID, it's the integration. So these aspects, they'll come forth when needed. Like I have different aspects and different sub-identities. I have 8 essential. And they'll be I've been doing this for years, so some of them will be gone for like years. I don't see them, and I try to call them, but they're never, and then all of a sudden, boom, they're there. And I really see it, and I've recognized at a very deep level that these sub-identities are actually me. See? It's not like I'm separated from myself looking at some past life. I'm actually looking at me, but these identities, they all have specific personality. Strengths, weaknesses, personality strengths, personality defects. They have their own individual wants, needs, and desires. But if you look at it as aspect of yourself, then you understand now, now this person's coming for it. So Captain Siddhartha Snow She's an aspect of my identity, and she's an individual being. She's the one individual being. And I discovered this years before all the social media's talking about this. Everything I'm talking about, I talked about way before. So I started talking about Pleiadians before people even knew what a Pleiadian was. So she's a Pleiadian cat. She's a co-captain overseeing. Well, now it's probably 2,800, which isn't really a lot if you really think about all the divine sovereign feminines on earth, because there she's attaching back to the original earth Tiamat with the overseer of the goddess of the sun. These are the original religions. So before, it was more of a matriarchal society. So what they are understanding is that they go through wormholes. They know how to touch. She's the one that taught me all the time assessments. It's once you know how to do it, you can understand how to do it. So basically, why would you want to have all these sub-identities? Well, for instance, this sub-identity, she's she's a captain, so what can I say? She taught me about the Black Cube technology. The Black Cube technology is something that you can call on. So say you're creating all these lists, which basically the alchemy polarity is looking at two extremes in your life, and then you combine it and you come to the upgraded version towards the purpose. Because whenever you're going into these areas of the unconscious, subconscious, unconscious, supra and super conscious minds, you're going into the purpose. See, if you're staying here, even in the conscious, even if you're connected to the divine, in the conscious and the subconscious mind, these are all full of programming. And the more programming that gets stacked up on top of it, the more it presses down on the subconscious mind. So you can't, but this is where the sub-identities live. And they really live as true. I cannot even, I think I was posting up on Facebook about Janie. Janie is the one that finds the portals and pathways to the earth. She understands the floor. She comes from the deep south, where all the muddy rivers and the crocodiles. She basically is a pathfinder. So she usually is, she's not much of a, she's more of a tomboy, but she's pretty, she's smaller. But she's not the most attractive. She's pretty plain looking. She would be Pippi Longstockings. She has a certain aspect in a way that she operates, and she's very straightforward. And she's awesome basically. But she's not around that much. But the last few days she's been heavy around. And it's really interesting with these sub-identities, because when they first started coming on, I felt more overwhelmed by it, and I knew I wouldn't be able to publish the book until I wrote it, because it would hound me, just like this book has hounded me since I was 11 years old. This book has hounded me. And so don't anyone come up to me and say, oh, good thing you wrote that book. And you know what? I'm glad that I can inspire other people to go forth and do their own thing. But safe to say, it doesn't compare to my set. You can't sit there and say, because this is my life's work. It's 9-10 processes to uncover, discover, and promote becoming a sovereign human, living through your original sacred sovereign soul's purpose contract. It's a process of survival, thriving, and flourishing. It's a cyclical thing. You're not always in one position, but if you're always pulling yourself through doing this process to get it just automatically takes you back on your path, because this unconscious part of yourself is always directed towards the soul. Okay. So the first thing is that in order to have executive power, you have to live by the cross. And the cross means that there's an overseer, and this overseer is Yeshua Christ, the cosmic Christ consciousness, the original, purveyor from the beginning, the overseer of this complete project of heaven on earth through man made in the image of God. So we're becoming more divine, and we're all being guided and led on our own path, but we are definitely under, and I've been asked and I've been designated to call this teaching under the umbrella of the Rainbow Bridge Prophecy. The basis of the Rainbow Bridge of Prophecy is the upper echelon of the couples, the polarity, the male and the female, coming together to forge these path portals and pathways towards the new earth. So we are working towards a future time, and that's something that I think I failed to understand until I finally was like, oh my God, that's why it's happening this way. Once you do that, okay, so then you have to anchor it. So this is the anchor. You have to do the alchemy of polarity. You have to look at these things. So basically, let me just give you a synopsis of how you work with an alchemy of polarity. If you want to just do it on your own, good luck. You could just buy the set, but I'm going to be getting it on Amazon. So once I get these videos going, and I'm more consistent, because I want to be more consistent. Once I finish this one, I can start doing the affirmation videos, the meditation videos, and do different kinds of videos, maybe, hopefully, if I can get my act together. And then along with doing like mini readings. But this has been a really big one, okay? Make a list. So if you have any problem, make a list. First do the negative, because usually it wouldn't show up as a problem unless it was something negative. A list of 10 things to the extreme. This is what's so bad about it. This is what I hate, every little aspect. And look at it. See, this is the problem with the society. We want everything now. We want everybody. You'd be willing to go out and pay $120 to have an hour psychic reading. Somebody throws some cards that doesn't know nothing from you, when I'm giving you this tool that'll give you detailed, specific guidance and direction every single day. It's a way of life. It's a way to pull yourself back up. Let me explain to you again, because when you're working in these deep levels, you're working with that soul contract. You wouldn't be here in this realm, in this earth, if it wasn't. Then you do a plus, and then you do another list of the extreme positive. 10 things. And spend at least a month looking at it. Type the words in, look at stories, look at movies, look at it. Find out what the myths, start to notice what's coming up for you. And then after you've done that for at least a month, then you can do equals and you can do equations on each one. Then you add those equations up and you have an ultimate equation. This is the most specific, detailed guidance and direction. So how does it come into? What is it doing? How does it work? Basically, when you're going into these areas, it's connecting up with that lineage, the soul's lineage. That's what I'm talking about, where these sub-identities come from. Once you do that, then you have the entrance to eternal life. See? Look at it this way. This is the way I look. Let me explain a little and I've been doing since May. Wait, what are we now? Since February, maybe? I have to look back at my paperwork. I did a time leap into this time frame structure, but my time frame structure is 72 to 76, because that's preferable for me. And then I leapt into 2072, then 2082, then 2092 to 96. Now I'm presently investigating and in the year 2102 to 2106. I think I'm in my 40s. That's when I discovered the teaching. And I'm really spending some time there, metaphorically, mythically. Think of it this way. What is eternal life? So I'm setting up my book all that time. Listen, this is where I'm at. I want $2 million. I want to get another property. I want my health extended. I want everything working. This is what it is, just like any young person. I want to have something to look forward to. So basically, by recreating my life and looking at it, time-space jumping, creating a time-space map and looking at it, what is it like, what's going on, and then I can co-create with this time structure. So that's my future. That's how it has to be. That's the way I look at it. Then the lucky star will come in. We have to overcome the most extreme fear, and we have to be able to look at things differently. That's what I always tell people. what I don't need anybody coming to me. See, a lot of times people will ask questions because they're the thought police. They want to know what you're thinking so they can immediately get in and start telling you what's wrong with you, when nothing is wrong with you at all. See? There's nothing wrong with you. It's just that you're listening to things outside yourself that are creating a dissension between you and your purpose because you haven't laid the groundwork with enough pathways. See? I have, when I start doing the list, which I won't have time in here, I'm going to have to do it on separate videos. You'll see these are affirmations. These are alchemical equations that come from in-depth looking at these issues. And the issues that we're having are not that different from issues that everyone else is having. So think of the dinosaur. Remember how there's this whole mythology that's going on now to where people are saying it's kind of weird how they're saying dinosaurs are these prehistoric monsters, but then if you look at Chinese medicine or the Chinese astrological wheel, every single animal there exists except for the dragon. And that the dinosaurs were actually dragons, but the Tyrannosaurus Rex, as far as like the dragon, so that's what I say. So you have to look at things differently. See, you need to start to allow yourself to look at things differently. Do you really want to continue thinking of yourself like this small identity and things? You're not going to be able to see the sub identities if you're always up here, if you're always running this race. So the inner work is really what you need to do to be able to change your perspective, to see something, an alternate reality. But if you're in the matrix, it's a shortened wheel. So you're running this race. You're basically spinning all your life force out. And the most important thing to having executive power is to have soul force, soul power, and soul energy. And again, see, I want to show you this as a cat person. This I found with the first clues. So this is how I knew the overseer was Captain Siddhartha Snow. So what are we doing to you? What are we creating with our soul force, soul power, soul energy? What are we creating with our purpose? Staying on our purpose drives. Becoming more sovereign. Less needing to really engage in things. See, it's going to get tougher and tougher and tougher to keep towing a line that's going the wrong direction. Jesus loves you, and believe. But we're talking about the cosmic Christ template, which includes everything. It's the entire universe. It's the art and the science of the soul. And then we'll have the shooting star. So what we need to do to get executive power is we need to look at the highlights of each day. We need to be 75% happy with the way your life is. Don't expect everything. See, the whole toe line of the matrix is, it's never enough, it's never enough, you deserve more, blah, blah, blah. It's always pointing out there to everyone else. You're not even able to integrate these soulful experiences that go beyond the matrix. You can't gain the recognition of the integration of these parts of yourselves with other people, your decisions and your relationships, when you're always condemning them. Oh, they were this, they were that. Why are you the one getting in these relationships? Part of being a sovereign person wielding executive power is looking at the bigger picture, being able to walk away from people, places, and things that are asking you to lower your ethics, your moral ethics, your moral within that you know is wrong. See, it doesn't matter because things will happen. See, every life will occur as long as you try to stay straight. It's not about saying, I'm not going to talk to this person because they do A, B, C, and D. It's more about what is my purpose in this person's life? How are we in relationship? Okay. I have all these lists of the alchemy and polarity, which I'm going to start doing the videos as soon as I get this one. I need to be able to actually get through this video and put it up. How are you doing? The conclusion of what is executive power. How does a human gain executive power? How does executive power operate and how is it used? First, you have to create 3 buckets. Think you're working in a restaurant. 3 buckets, 3 gallons each, and fill them, and you have to shorten your time. See, you have to gain soul force, soul power, soul energy through doing these activities. I'm gonna put up a picture of, in the header, I'm gonna have to put it up after this because I'm still doing the frame. But we have to create these different portals and pathways we have to create the 72 portals for ourselves. We have to be focused on our purpose. That's why we're always getting off it, because we don't have enough focus on it. We're easily distracted and pulled away from it, see? So you have to do the alchemy polarity, like I said earlier in the video. So you have to be able to look at the lower vibrating emotions and playing them out mythically. The clues are associated with the subconscious, and the clues are associated with what's in here. Think of this as your soul's purpose drive. So basically you have to use the alchemy of polarity in unison with the mythic reading and the mythic journey, and look at the clues, watch the archetypes and the sub-identities towards your purpose. Engage in the extreme polarity through music, movement, pop culture, and encourage your passion to increase using the mythic cloak. Understanding and developing soul force, soul power, soul energy. So you just have to get my teaching, basically. You'll have to get the book. The sub-identity overseer. Understanding ourselves and allow the other aspects of yourself to come forward for their purpose. See, when you see them and you identify them, and you're not thinking that, you're not supposed to think of them as real. See, playing in the myth is coming back to play. Putting on a mythic cloak. See, people don't know why you're so over-focused, and you can't get in the vision, and you can't get in the prayer because you're over-focused in this false illusion, delusion, collusion of the surface identity. This identity, who am I? What am I? Oh, well, people get old, all this stuff. First of all, I get to decide for me, right? Thank you. Understanding identity. So you have to really get to the core issue of understanding what is the difference between the lower model identity consciousness, race, mind, consciousness, identity, small self, race, mind, consciousness, and all this low vibrating belief, attitude, bullets that make you a prisoner of being a victim. It's victim, victimizer. It's always loop. If you keep doing it, you can't get off of it. The only way is to create more portals and pathways towards your purpose, and understanding that you're working for this future time. See? And how do you create being an eternal being? By creating a future for yourself to step into. That way it's much easier. You die, you just walk through. How to the most important thing, how to coexist with unbalanced people who are jealous, overbearing, and erase mind consciousness. So that's the last part. Anyway, I'm going to move on. This is the last video, but I will be doing the videos where I'll be doing the alchemy of polarity next. I'll be doing a lot of videos on doing the equations and stuff, so you can kind of get more into that. All right. I will talk to you later.
It's me, Nia Lamborghini. I want to tell a new story for a new day. But mostly I just feel like I'm in an incubation chamber waiting for something new to arrive. I'm looking and noticing that the birds are speaking to us, telling us of a new day and a new way. The strength and the power and the glory of the eagle, the American eagle. I want to proclaim on this day that Donald J. Trump is one of the best presidents that ever lived. He's full of vim and vigor, strength, power, and glory. He wants to see us succeed. He wants to see us flourish. He wants us again to become the greatest nation that leads all other nations out of the tyranny of poverty, strife, violence, separation, and hatred. Every night my prayer is the same. Oh Lord God, return me to innocence. I find myself waking up feeling like a new person and a new day. No more need to go out and make something of myself. Just a need to nurture what I have been given. Let us now listen to our souls and go back to the original contracts. Take care of our body, mind, spirit, and soul. In the name of unity, real power, real soul force, let us unite as one beautiful, amazing family. Let us now enter into the family of life. Greetings, it's me, Captain Siddhartha Snow, and Daniel D'Artagnan Swift, my co-patriot in the way. The 72 portals to a new Earth reality have a lot of energy. Even coming close to them and speaking to me about them can bring tidal waves of energy in your realm. I'm sending the purple, pinky, diamond light frequencies